Hello, everybody. It's me, Bernice of Loman Creative Services. Well, today we are Loman Creative Services. So I wanted to come on today to talk about virtual reality and business. And so it would just make sense. I was gonna say befitting, but it would just make sense for me to come from virtual reality to talk about virtual reality for business. And I won't be with you guys long. Trust me, I have a long to do list today, um, productive day. But I wanted to just come on really quick to talk about virtual reality and business. I will have more time with you guys. Hopefully, this week, this Friday, I have a scheduled Facebook Live, actually YouTube, Twitter, etc. I'll also be live on LinkedIn this Friday. I have more time with you guys to talk about Reels and how important that is in this day of time for business and or ministry. If you have a brand, definitely hold tight, hang tight on this Friday. I will be talking about Reels and the importance of it. But for today, I wanted to quickly just talk about virtual reality and the potential it has when it comes to business. And when I say business, I mean brands across the board. All right. Um, Hello to everybody who is on right now. I just want to say hello. It's me, Bernice. I am live, officially like live. So um I wanted to just have this conversation with you guys and talk about the importance of virtual reality as it relates to business. So, for those who might not know what virtual reality is, or VR, if you see VR, is virtual reality. And this live, the goal is to share this message with those who may not be as familiar with virtual reality or VR, virtual environments or 3D environments. This is for those who are amateurs at virtual reality, and those who are not as familiar, but maybe those who are somewhat familiar but are not sure of how both the VR and the business link together. So this is the purpose of this live, to have a conversation about VR and how it's merged between virtual reality and business. So, for those who don't know who I am the owner of Loman Creative Services, and Loman Creative Services is a one stop shop for branding, marketing, and tech. And we have a plethora of services to assist you with your marketing campaigns. And one of the things that I am very passionate about is seeing entrepreneurs and brands, whether you're in business and or ministry, is to see brands excel with technology and excel with high tech tools that are available. And so what you'll see, you if you've seen any of Loma Curtis Services brands, you will definitely see that there has been a growth with technology and expanded with technology and the tools that are available, from even social media tools. And this is what I would like to share with you as an entrepreneur and as a business. Now, I am a business owner. As I said, I'm the owner of Loma Curtis Services. So I'm speaking also from a business perspective, from a business owner, and I say that because sometimes, I see some lives, and, you have people that tend to speak based on what they've read. And although I will share some facts, and I will share some articles or just some information that I know to be true. However, I'm coming from experience as a business owner. So I'm going to give you guys my experience of what virtual reality is to me and how it has expanded and has grown my business as a business owner. So you'll hear that from me. So that's the goal of this live for those who may even catch the replay and may have wondered what you missed. This is what I'll cover. Hello, hello, hello. I see some of you guys are tuning in, and I just want to say hello. Thank you so much for tuning in today and watching my live here. So, like I stated, I wanted to first talk about VR, what it is for those who might not know what it is. And again, this is for amateurs who aren't as familiar with VR. I know there are some amazing tech people that follow me, some marketing gurus that follow me, those who've been in 3D spaces for maybe longer than I have. Big shout out to you guys. But this live is specifically for those who aren't as familiar, who are wanting to get into the space. So VR, you may have seen it, from time to time, VR, but virtual reality, it has it has a potential to revolutionize the way business operates. So, the way we do business, like communicate, the way we engage with our customers, the way we share our brand, the way we connect overall from a business perspective. I really believe that VR has a way to expand and allow us to grow even more as a business. And so let me first say this, what VR is. I think I should do you some justice where I'll at least explain exactly what it is. So it's a technology that it creates a simulated computer generated environment. So you see here, I'm in a computer generated environment. This was created. In fact, this is a big shout out to Immerse, an environment space where it was created computerized, computer generated, where you call it like a 3D model. And these are what you call a 3D model, computer generated. And I'm going to explain a little bit of how that can be connected with business, and at least a little glimpse of how it can be connected to business. But it typically requires some form of immersive wear. So these environments causes an immersive experience for users, but it's typically used with other devices like a controller, um, of course, a VR headset. You may have already have had some idea of that already, but a VR headset or some gloves or controller, it allows you with those controllers. Like right now, I don't have a controller with me that I'm using, um, but I can use my controller. Like right now, you may see my hand menu change, right? Because I'm now can control my menu with my hands, all right, without the controller. But there are some applications that you definitely need the controller for. So almost all VR headsets do come with controllers, especially the initial setup. And also, it helps you to see with the headset. The headset allows you to see and interact with people. You're able to use like gloves or controllers to be able to move your hands. And so it's like, to me, if I can explain it, is it's its own environment, its own world, but the headset is like your eyes when you are like a in person or in real life, and your controllers are like, your hands are like your real hands. So if you have a controller and you lift your right hand up, then your right hand is going to be up in the 3D environment. If you take your controller and move it up on the left, then your hand, it acts as is your hand, your left hand will be moved in the 3D virtual reality. So it typically involves the headset and any other device like gloves or controllers, and of course it involves a software. So um, I have to explain that because sometimes when I do share, the first thought that when I explain to certain people, they're like, okay, so I go where, you know, and I explained that there are different softwares. Like Meta has its own software, like Horizon Worlds, and then you have other applications that you can install on your virtual headset, and it allows you to interact depending on that software. You know, it's like you engage in real life on Facebook, that's its own platform. Then you have LinkedIn, that's its own software and platform or applications. Then you have an application of, these are social networks. So think of it like that, if I can, you know, explain it. I do have an upcoming course where I'll share thoroughly and deeply into the applications and how you can apply it for your brand and all of those great things. But I want to give you just a simple explanation and how I apply it to my business, that I really believe that you as a business owner, entrepreneur, anyone who has a brand can use this tool to help expand your brand. So think about, let's talk about business. All right. So, and I have my notes here that I wanted to share so I don't miss anything here. Um, when I think about business, I think one of the ways that corporations can use VR is to enhance product development where environments such as this, you can create the environment that you want to see for that particular product and allow a testing where you can bring in people in a virtual space to you can bring them in to be able, you can bring testers in, and you can allow it to be more of an immersive space with your product, like especially if you have like a product assembly line where you actually can create the product assembly line and allow each of those products to go through those steps to determine how to determine the outcome actually, and instead of the traditional way where it would take, I'm imagining, thousands and thousands of dollars to create a product where you can just allow a code and an environment that can be created that allow that product to go through that assembly line and bring in testers to the world. You don't have to think about the cost of traveling and I mean, just think about it, the overhead costs, but you can create an environment and a product that it goes through that similar process, but in a virtual environment. And what I like about the VR is that the collaboration is it seems so real, and there's an interaction, you know, collaboration. Um, you can save so much cost in the development time. It's so much. If you just think about production when it comes to a new product, and even when it comes to engaging um engaging with others, it's it's like it's like I hardly can explain it. But one of those things that I feel when it comes to um experience, I really believe that it takes a true experience for others to truly get it, because it really, to me, I feel like it would not make sense unless a person actually puts on the headset and experience to determine how it really is for them. I really believe it's a personal experience. Um, and I say this from experience when I bring people and I invite people in into the office, and I say, hey, if they have questions about it, and I go over the instructions, and sometimes I hear they say, okay, I hear it, but I know it'll make sense when I put it on. And when they put it on, they are like, oh my God. I started recording some testimonials, some VR experiences. You guys, if you have not follow our YouTube channel or any of our social platforms, you'll see I begin to just share others' experience, and they're like, wow, I get it. Wow, this is amazing. And their mind goes another place because they're thinking, like, wow, I can use this for this. Well, as a business owner, I would encourage you to get the experience, because once you get the experience, listen, your mind will elevate to how you can grow your brand in 3D environments such as this. And I like the diversity of virtual reality. I love the fact that there are so many, and that is global, right? I wanted to say that is global. I've met so many people, like from China, from UK, from everywhere. It's across the globe, and I'm always amazed at how other countries are excelling so fast, so drastically with technology than US a lot of times, because I hardly meet as many people from US that I meet from any other country. And that's another plus for you business owners who are kind of interested in virtual reality, is when your business model or plan is to expand, think about tools that can help you advance and excel globally. Definitely virtual reality, in my opinion, is one of them. Another thing that I would recommend for virtual reality in business is one of the advantage is immersive training and education. So VR can provide immersive training experience for employees, allow them to practice like real procedures and scenarios. And there are companies that are already doing this. But I just reiterate, yes, I want to say that for those who are watching and you're in business, and think about how you can train your team. You can create environments such as these immersive environments, and creating a scenario for your team member. You can begin to say you want your team member to learn how to communicate, just as simple as communicating in customer service. Well, what you can do is create an environment you can put in your own business environment, create that, and allow them to experience it before they even get to your office. Old school orientation, how old school orientation, you had to physically be in the building. You had to physically be there, and it was usually 1 or 2 days of orientation going through the process. Well, imagine this person can be wherever they are, but still in an environment of your place of business, your establishment, and they get to see it before they actually get there, where you can take their team through that process. And so uh this is another benefit of virtual reality, is because you can make it a reality but virtually. Another thing I would suggest as a business owner is not only the procedures, but allowing a ongoing process in the virtual reality so that that team member can learn it, can learn the process for your business. And training, you guys probably see this too. We do workshops and events, business trainings, also in virtual reality. So, like a typical class or workshop that we normally would do in person or through Zoom, well, we now have that capability where we have classes that we host inside virtual reality. And I want to encourage you to follow our page, VR Loman Creative Services, because you'll see the different trainings. We host an upcoming training. In fact, this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with guest attorney Latanya Moore. She'll be speaking on intellectual properties. And we've had several workshops prior to this Sunday. We've had prior workshops, we've had prior trainings. And so that is another way that it allows business owners to share their expertise, but in a more immersive way. And it helps also, I believe, with attention span, because it's creative. It makes people like, okay, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is something, maybe not new, but can be new to most entrepreneurs and business owners. And I say that because I'm often in virtual reality and I don't see as many business owners and entrepreneurs. I feel that there is a great need for business owners and entrepreneurs. Another thing that uh, you can use virtual reality for business is meetings, just virtual meetings and collaborations. So, VR, virtual reality, can enable virtual meetings, collaborations, right? Um, and it eliminates the physical space. So you may wonder, why not Zoom, right? Um, because Zoom has a avatar feature that you can use as well. So there is a big difference in virtual reality. Like right now with virtual reality and Zoom. Like right now, I actually can invite someone in this space where I am right now. You can't do that in Zoom, where someone can actually be in an immersive environment. What Zoom allows you to do, now we're partners of Zoom, so I love Zoom, right? But there's a difference between the Zoom avatar and what I'm doing here in right here in virtual reality. Virtual reality allows your environment to change versus just your face as an avatar to change. So I can change this environment and you guys can see me in another space, and you can't do 3D environments through Zoom. So if anyone, were curious about, okay, well, what's the difference in here and virtual reality? With virtual reality, you can create what you want to create, your environment that you want to create, and you can bring on other individuals. You can allow it to be a public space where people from, across the globe can network and collaborate with you. And or you can just do it like right now. I'm in a private room. I have set my private room just so that I can have this conversation with you, but I can allow it to be an open space, or I can be in a public space where you guys get to connect or see others as well. And so there are different options available with virtual reality than or versus the in-person, in real life. We like to call it IRL, in real life. Um, but the list goes on. Virtual meetings can also provide customizable virtual environments for conferences, events, product demonstrations, creating unique and immersive experience for attendees. Say you may have attendee that you have an event, and the attendee may want to know, I'm interested in, let's just say you a car salesman, right? And they may be interested in um in a particular car, right? Guess what? You can actually create the environment, create the car, allow them to test it or feel the car, right? You can actually get them to feel the car and drive the car. Like let's just say they're test driving a car. You can put something a block in the road in a block in the road. You can create it and put it there so that they can be able to feel move the steering wheel and see how it feels. Like it's just so much that you can do in an immersive space. And this is why I just recommend business owners. I recommend business owners um to just experience it for yourself, because if I'm telling you something, I can give you the details, I can give you the facts, of course, and you have the facts, but and I can also tell you my experience, and that's great. But to have your experience, that's your experience, right? That is only your experience. And I can also share, like for business, you can do virtual showrooms. I've attended some amazing uh, business showrooms, trade shows, amazing. And listen, I didn't have to travel to, you guys know how it is for a in-person trade show. For an in-person trade show, you got to travel, you got to get all your products. You have to get you have to get your plane ticket if you flying. You got to make sure that your insurance is all together. Um it's y'all know the list goes on. And if you driving, you got to get your gas, you got to get your hotel. I think I said this, but you got to restock and you got to make sure you stock on products. It's so much that goes into a trade show. And if there's hundreds of people, you got to order hundreds to thousands products. But this trade show, I didn't have to do any of that. I was my avatar, put on my VR headset. Um I created my banner, my design banner for the table, for the vendor table. I had was just at the table as an avatar. People came by as a normal trade show. The great thing about that is they got a chance to click on the link and it took them to the website and the products of Loman Creative Services and the services, versus actually printing in and printing things out, and the travel and all of that. And that's one of the benefits of virtual reality, is that people can get it's like a more of an in-person experience, if I was to explain it, but it's virtual reality. They get a reality experience, but virtual. And they get to connect with that person. And it feels as if you're in that same room. Now, this is my experience. It feels as if, we're in that same room. I'm in the same room with this person. I've connected with uh, people in ministry. We are having church services, Bible study, in virtual reality, in the metaverse. And it feels as if we are there because it is an immersive space. And so, like I said, I won't be before you long, but I do want to share one of the things, of course, is marketing and branding. That is one of the things that, of course, that's our service. But I want to let you guys know that is what we're using. One of the things we're using virtual reality for, of course, to build relationships, to make sure that we are in immersive spaces and connecting with those and building those relationships. We also are able to brand and we're able to market. Like we have a metaverse office and we have virtual reality classes. And with those classes, we get to showcase our services. We get to showcase, our products and things that we offer for our company, Loman Creative Services. And as a business owner, this is what you too can do. This is what you can do as well, is be involved in these immersive spaces and meetings and being able to create those relationships with those. You don't have to you don't have to come off like like a so sales driven. I've seen someone do that, and they literally, I had to block them in the metaverse. Like every time they saw me have a virtual reality course, they came with something like, "Hey, we got this. You that can help you teach better with your metaverse." I'm like, "Listen, you coming off to like sales driven, like hold on here." But to be able to create those meaningful relationships in the metaverse or in the virtual reality space has been amazing. To be able to collaborate with other organizations that are doing great things here, to collaborate with several ministries, company and organizations here have been amazing. And I want to just recommend you guys to just, get the experience. It's been great. Where, I also got a chance to connect with different events where I got to share my brand story. I got invited to several events in virtual reality to share my story from a business owner in real life versus and also in virtual reality. That is sharing your brand. That's a part of branding. That's a part of a marketing, because one of the things that I do have done is allow people to know about the story of my book, one of the book's marketing campaigns, as well as the Let's Create book. I've created an environment, the Let's Create book environment, where the front page of my the front cover of my book is an actual space in virtual reality where children or anyone can experience the Let's Create book, but it's in an immersive space. Also in the office, Loman Creative Services is one of my marketing books. It's called Marketing Campaign Handbook, where people can actually grab my book. And when grabbing my book, you'll hear my voice, you'll hear a voice note. I'm doing some voice inserts about the marketing tips that's in the chapter. That's another tool of marketing. That's another tool of branding, of sharing my brand message and marketing message. And so that is what you can also do. Just You can also do that for your brand. Now, here's what I I absolutely love what virtual reality allows we as entrepreneurs to do, is to totally be creative, totally be creative, and think outside the box. That's one of the things I have admired about this space, is that you can create what you want to see. You can create what you want um, others to know and see about your brand story and your marketing. So, um, and another thing I would say is customer engagement, because it's so immersive. You know, you can do so much with this space when it comes to customer service. And one of the things we've done is our meetings on Fridays, our virtual reality meeting, where we have a metaverse office where we connect with customers on Fridays. And so, you as a business, think of ways of how you can increase your customer service engagement. Now, this is definitely what I would suggest, because it allows customers to be immersed, and those who, not even just customers, people, potential customers, people who may have been thinking about your service or your brand. And it allows that remote assistance that you can provide, or a troubleshoot assistance that you can provide. Listen, y'all, it is it has been amazing. It has been a great experience for me as a business owner. I'm able to connect with those who might not even have heard of Loman Creative Services, but because they're in a virtual environment, they get to see Loman Creative Services in that space. And so for a while, there are business owners that may have thought of virtual reality just more of for gamers, and that's not true. You have entrepreneurs, you have CEOs, you have CFOs, you have um, big big companies, um, big brands that are in virtual reality on a day to day, hour by hour, minute by minute basis. And so it would only make sense to make sure that your brand is visible in these spaces. If you're wanting to expand and you're wanting to grow globally, this is in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, I would definitely suggest you as an entrepreneur, business owner, to get a virtual reality headset and experience it. Get the experience of what is like, and begin to explore how you can use this for your brand. How can you use this for your organization when you begin to get the experience yourself by putting it on and getting the engagement with others? I want to again recommend you get the experience of it, and allow your mind to explore of how you can use it as well for your business and or your ministry, or your brand. So again, I'm Bernice with Loman Creative Services. I'll talk with you guys later. Have a blessed day.